First contact between Deathworlders. The horizon drifted silently through the void, its quantum engines humming at minimal power. Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen showing the rust-colored planet ahead. This system was far from established trade routes, but contained resources Earth desperately needed, particularly the rare element cerium, crucial for their new generation of starship drives. Orbital scan complete, Captain. Lieutenant Paddle reported from the science station. Atmosphere is thin but breathable. High mineral content in the northern mountains. No signs of intelligent life. Maya nodded. The Galactic Assembly had granted Earth exploration rights to this unclaimed system after years of negotiation. Despite being part of the interstellar community for nearly 3 decades, humans were still viewed with caution by many alien species. Their homeworld was classified as a Deathworld, a planet with high gravity, extreme weather patterns, and dangerous predators that had forced its inhabitants to evolve into surprisingly resilient beings. Begin preparations for a landing party, Maya ordered. I want boots on the ground within. Captain, the tactical officer's voice cut through her command. Unknown vessel approaching from the far side of the planet. Maya's body tensed. Show me. The view screen shifted to display a massive ship with a distinctive angular design. Its dark hull gleamed with an iridescent sheen, powerful engine nacelles pulsing with energy. No match in our database, Paddle reported, fingers dancing across her console. But energy readings suggest advanced weaponry. Shields up, Maya ordered calmly. Open hailing frequencies, standard peaceful contact protocols. For several tense minutes, the bridge crew waited. The unknown vessel maintained its position, sensors clearly scanning the horizon. They're responding, the communications officer announced. The view screen flickered to reveal a bridge similar to their own, but with a red-tinged lighting. In the center stood a towering figure with pale gray skin stretched across a powerful frame. 4 yellow eyes blinked in vertical pairs, and a ridge of bony protrusions ran along the alien's skull. When it spoke, a translator converted the guttural sounds into English. I am Commander Kraz of the Valkyrie exploration vessel Thunderclaw. You trespass in claimed territory, human. Maya squared her shoulders, meeting all 4 alien eyes without flinching. Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Horizon. We're here under Galactic Assembly authorization. This system was registered as unclaimed. Kraz's upper eyes narrowed. We arrived 3 rotations ago and have already established mining rights according to assembly protocols. Maya felt her crew's tension, but kept her voice steady. Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding. I propose we meet in person to discuss this situation. The planet below has a breathable atmosphere for both our species. The Valkyrie commander was silent for a moment, all 4 eyes blinking in an unsynchronized pattern that Maya couldn't read. Agreed. Coordinates will follow. 2 hours. Minimal escort. When the transmission ended, First Officer Rivera approached. Captain, Valkyrie are from Hygrath 3, another Deathworld. They evolved under twice Earth's gravity with a chlorine-heavy atmosphere. They're known for territorial aggression and for honoring their agreements, Maya added. We need this system, Commander. If we have to negotiate sharing rights, so be it. 2 hours later, Maya led a small team through the thin atmosphere of the planet's surface. Lieutenant Dawson, her security chief, walked slightly ahead, his hand never far from his sidearm. Paddle followed with scientific equipment, while Dr. Navarro brought up the rear with medical supplies. The landscape was stark but beautiful. Jagged mountains rose in the distance, their peaks dusted with reddish snow. The valley floor was covered with low, hardy vegetation that crackled underfoot. Reminds me of the Atacama Desert back on Earth, Navarro commented, bending to examine a purple-tinged plant. Extreme conditions, but life adapts. The Valkyrie shuttle appeared over a ridge, descending with precision to land 100 meters away. 4 figures emerged, Commander Kraz towering over the others. They wore no environmental suits despite the thin air, another similarity to humans that Maya noted. The two groups approached each other cautiously, stopping when they were 5 meters apart. Captain Chin. Kraz's voice rumbled without electronic translation now. Commander Kraz. Maya responded with a slight nod. Up close, the Valkyrie was even more imposing, nearly 7 feet tall with powerfully muscled limbs. The translator had masked the slight clicking undertone to their speech. "You claim Galactic Assembly authorization," Kraz began. "As do we." Maya and Kraz exchanged a look of perfect understanding. "Perhaps," Maya suggested calmly, "it's time for the Assembly to reconsider its position on Deathworld alliances." As the sun set on the rust-colored world, plans were already being made. The joint outpost would become a permanent installation, not just for mining operations, but as the headquarters for a new initiative, a rapid response force comprised of the galaxy's most resilient species. Humans and Valkyrie would lead the way, proving that those who evolved against the harshest odds could become the strongest defenders of all. "From Deathworlds to Death Defiers," Maya said quietly as she and Kraz watched their crews working side by side on repairs. The Valkyrie commander's mouth formed what Maya now recognized as a genuine smile. "The universe has no idea what it's created by trying to kill us all these years. And that," Maya replied with a smile of her own, "is exactly our advantage." The mysterious vessel. 1 standard week had passed since the detection of the strange energy signature. In that time, the relationship between the human and Valkyrie crews had evolved from cautious cooperation to genuine alliance. The mysterious signal had accelerated their partnership, pushing aside previous territorial disputes in favor of shared security. The Horizon and Thunderclaw now orbited the planet in tandem, sensors constantly scanning the outer system. On the surface, a joint outpost had begun to take shape, prefabricated structures from both ships forming a sturdy compound in the shadow of the northern mountains. Maya stood in the outpost's operations center, studying holographic projections with Commander Kraz. The Valkyrie's massive frame cast a shadow across the display as they both examined the latest data. "It's definitely approaching," Maya said, pointing to the energy readings. "But slowly, methodically." Kraz's lower eyes narrowed. "The pattern suggests deliberate scanning of each celestial body it passes, like a search pattern." Lieutenant Patel entered with Nexar, both carrying data tablets. "We've analyzed the composition of the 4th moon of the gas giant," Patel reported. "After the object passed near it, mineral densities changed significantly." "Mining operations?" Maya asked. "More like consumption." Nexar clicked, displaying comparative scans. The moon lost approximately 12% of its rare mineral content, specifically elements similar to xerium. Maya and Kraz exchanged concerned glances. The resource they both sought was apparently what the mysterious object was harvesting. "We need visual confirmation," Kraz decided. "Long-range scans are insufficient." "Agreed," Maya nodded. "A joint reconnaissance mission. Small, fast, minimal profile." Within hours, a modified Valkyrie shuttle launched from the outpost. The craft had been enhanced with human stealth technology and carried a mixed crew, Lieutenant Dawson and Dr. Navarro representing Earth, with Nexar and a Valkyrie tactical officer named Vex representing their species. From the operations center, Maya and Kraz monitored their progress. "Keep your distance," Maya instructed over the comm. "Observation only." "Understood, Captain." Dawson's voice came back, tension evident despite his professional tone. The shuttle traveled for nearly 6 hours before Navarro's voice broke through the silence. "Visual contact established. Transmitting now." The holographic display in the operations center shimmered and resolved into an image that caused both commanders to fall silent in shock. The object was unlike any vessel either species had encountered. It stretched over 3 kilometers in length, its hull a non-reflective black that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. The shape defied conventional spacecraft design. Asymmetrical protrusions extended from a central mass, constantly shifting and realigning like a living organism. "That's not a ship," Maya whispered. "It's a factory." Kraz leaned closer to the display, observed the movement patterns. "It's disassembling the small moon in its vicinity." The massive entity had extended dozens of articulated appendages toward a captured celestial body, methodically breaking it apart and drawing materials into various intake ports. Smaller objects, perhaps autonomous drones, swarmed around it like insects. "Energy signatures are off the charts," Paddle reported from her station. "And there's something else. We're detecting no life signs aboard." "Automated system," Maya suggested. "Or a form of life our sensors cannot recognize," Kraz countered. The observation continued for another hour, the reconnaissance team carefully documenting the entity's behavior from a safe distance. Then, without warning, Dawson's voice came through, sharp with alarm. "Multiple objects detaching from the main body. They're heading toward us." "Evasive maneuvers," Maya ordered immediately. "Return to base." "Too late," came Navarro's strained reply. "They'll intercept us before we can outrun them." Kraz turned to his communications officer. "Order the Thunderclaw to move to intercept. Full weapons charge." "The Horizon is already moving to support," Maya's first officer reported. For 20 agonizing minutes, they monitored the pursuit. The shuttle executed a series of desperate evasive patterns while the approaching ships, roughly the size of standard shuttlecraft, but with the same unsettling design as their parent, followed with unerring precision. "We can't shake them," Dawson reported, his voice now calm with the focus of someone facing impossible odds. "But we've identified a weakness. They react slowly to sudden course changes, almost like they're learning our patterns before responding." The Thunderclaw reached weapons range first, its main cannons lancing out toward the pursuing craft. One of the alien vessels disintegrated under the barrage, but the others adjusted formation and continued pursuit. When the Horizon arrived minutes later, its more precise targeting systems allowed for surgical strikes that disabled 2 more pursuers. The remaining alien vessels abruptly broke off their chase and retreated toward their parent entity. The shuttle returned to the outpost with minimal damage but shaken crew. Dawson had a laceration across his forehead, where he'd struck a console during evasive maneuvers, while Vex's arm hung limply from a dislocated joint. "They fired some kind of energy weapon we've never seen before," Navarro reported during debriefing. "It passed right through our shields as if they weren't there. The only reason we survived was the shuttle's composite hull," Nexar added. "The Valkyrie plating combined with human reinforcement techniques absorbed much of the energy." Maya studied the footage from the encounter. "Did you discover anything about their nature or purpose?" "They're harvesters," Dawson said firmly. "Automated resource extractors. We detected no communication between units, but they operate with coordinated efficiency." "Like a hive," Vex suggested, wincing as a medic reset his injured limb. "Individual components serving a central intelligence." Kraz's fist came down on the table with enough force to make the humans jump. "They're heading toward this planet. Our scans confirm substantial xerium deposits here, more than any of the moons they've already stripped." The grim realization settled over the group. The mysterious entity wasn't just passing through. It was systematically harvesting the very resource that had brought both their species to this system. "How long?" Maya asked quietly. "At current velocity, 3 days," Patel answered. "Maybe 4. Maya and Kraz moved to the corner of the room, speaking in low tones. "Our ships together couldn't stop that thing," Maya said. "We need reinforcements. The nearest Valkyrie battle group is 2 weeks away." Kraz replied. "Yours?" "Similar. We're on our own." The Valkyrie commander was silent for a moment, all 4 eyes focused on some middle distance. "Then we use what Deathworlders do best, Captain Chen." "Which is?" "Survive against impossible odds." Kraz's mouth formed that predatory almost smile. "And adapt to kill what threatens us." Over the next 72 hours, the outpost became a hive of frenzied activity. Humans and Valkyrie worked side by side. combining technologies in ways neither species had attempted before. Mining equipment was converted into weapon platforms. Shield generators from both ships were modified and linked to create a layered defense system around the outpost. Dr. Navarro worked with Nexer to analyze the weapon signatures from the attack on the shuttle, developing countermeasures based on the composite materials that had offered some protection. The key is disrupting their targeting systems, Navarro explained during a strategy session. They use some form of quantum entanglement to bypass conventional shields. But if we modulate our own energy output to create interference patterns, we can blind them, Nexer finished. Temporarily, at least. Meanwhile, Dawson and Vex train mixed teams of security personnel in coordinated defensive tactics. Despite their physical differences, Valkyrie strength versus human agility, they found complementary approaches that maximize both species' natural advantages. The Valkyrie formed the heavy front line. Dawson demonstrated with holographic models. Humans provide mobile flanking support and tactical flexibility. Together, we are formidable, Vex agreed, his injured arm now healed thanks to Valkyrie regenerative abilities. As the deadline approached, Maya found Kraz on a ridge overlooking the outpost. The Valkyrie commander stood motionless, all four eyes fixed on the evening sky, where a new star now glimmered, the approaching entity, now visible to the naked eye. Magnificent, isn't it? Kraz said without turning. In all my expeditions, I've never encountered anything like it. Maya stood beside the towering alien, feeling the chill of the thin atmosphere, but appreciating the moment of quiet before the coming storm. Beautiful and terrifying, like most things in the universe worth finding. My people have a saying, Kraz rumbled. The most dangerous predators come in silence. On Earth, we say the calm before the storm, Maya replied. Different worlds, similar wisdom. Kraz finally looked down at her. The Galactic Assembly fears our species working together. Perhaps they were right to worry. Maya smiled, but not for the reasons they thought. The night before the entity's projected arrival, both ship captains addressed their combined crews. The atmosphere was tense but determined, a mood Maya recognized from humanity's long history of facing overwhelming odds. Tomorrow, we defend not just this outpost or the resources we came for, Maya told them. We defend the principle that different species can stand together against a common threat. Valkyrie and humans were shaped by worlds that tried to kill us daily, Kraz continued. We became strong, resilient, adaptable. Tomorrow, we will show this mindless harvester that intelligence and cooperation are more powerful than blind consumption. As dawn broke on the rust-colored world, the entity appeared in the upper atmosphere, a dark mass that blotted out the stars, growing larger with each passing minute. Dozens of smaller crafts detached from its hull, descending toward the outpost. All defense systems online, Paddle reported from her station. Shield modulators functioning at peak efficiency, Nexar added. Maya and Kraz stood side by side in the command center, watching the approaching swarm. Launch countermeasures on my mark, Maya ordered. Ground teams in position, Dawson confirmed over the comm. Mark, Kraz barked. The battle began with a blinding flash as modified mining lasers lanced upward from the outpost perimeter. Several of the smaller craft disintegrated immediately, but others adjusted their approach vectors and continued their descent. The first energy weapons struck the modified shields, which flickered but held under the assault. The modulation pattern developed by Navarro and Nexer created visible confusion among the attackers, causing several to collide or veer off course. It's working, Patil exclaimed. They can't lock onto specific targets through the interference. Maintain fire discipline, Kraz ordered as Valkyrie heavy weapons teams unleashed devastating barrages at the closest threats. For 20 minutes, the defense held. The combined human Valkyrie teams worked with practiced coordination, adapting their tactics as the automated attackers attempted to counter them. But above, the parent entity continued its inexorable approach. It's changing position, Maya observed, studying the tactical display. Why? Energy buildup detected, Patel shouted. Massive discharge imminent. All personnel to hardened shelters. Kraz roared through the comm system. The blast from the entity struck like a hammer from the gods. Despite their preparations, the outpost shields collapsed under the assault. Buildings cracked, equipment shattered, and for a moment it seemed all was lost. But as the dust settled, Maya realized something crucial. They're targeting our technology, not us. They want the resources, not conflict. Kraz's eyes widened with sudden understanding. Then we give them what they want, on our terms. Working frantically, they implemented a desperate plan. The remaining Xerium samples were loaded into specially modified containers and placed around the outpost's perimeter. As the harvester drones approached, they were drawn to the concentrated resources rather than the facilities. They're taking the bait, Dawson reported from his observation post, concentrating on the sample containers. Navarro, status, Maya demanded through her communicator. Modifications complete, the doctor replied. The Xerium samples have been treated with the resonance compound, on your command. Maya looked to Kraz, who gave a solemn nod. Initiate destabilization sequence. Across the perimeter, the xenium samples began to emit a high-frequency energy pattern that spread to the harvester drones. As each drone absorbed the treated material, the resonance compound propagated through their systems. Above, the massive entity shuddered. Its constantly shifting appendages froze, then began to move erratically. The remaining drones fell from the sky, inert. It worked, Nexar whispered in disbelief. The resonance cascade disrupted their quantum coherence. Slowly, the massive harvester began to drift away from the planet, its systems visibly failing. Within hours, it had retreated beyond the system's edge, leaving behind only the disabled drones as evidence of the encounter. The joint outpost had survived, though damaged. As humans and Valkyrie emerged from shelter to begin repairs, there was a new sense of camaraderie, the unshakable bond formed by facing death together. 2 days later, a Galactic Assembly diplomatic vessel arrived, drawn by the distress signals both ships had sent. The Assembly representative, a tall, willowy being with translucent skin, surveyed the outpost with obvious concern. This unauthorized collaboration between Deathworld species is most irregular, the diplomat began. The Assembly must review. Maya stepped forward, Kraz at her side. With respect, Ambassador, this irregular collaboration just saved this system from being stripped bare by an unknown threat. Maya produced a small holoprojector, displaying their mission parameters. Earth was granted mining rights to this system 3 standard months ago. Kraz displayed their own authorization, dated just 2 weeks earlier. The Assembly granted us the same rights. Maya studied the holographic document, then sighed. It appears the Assembly's left hand doesn't know what its right is doing. Bureaucratic error. One of Kraz's companions stepped forward, voice pitched higher. The humans should leave. Valkyrie claimed this territory first. We arrived simultaneously, Maya countered, and we've invested considerable resources in this expedition. Kraz raised a 4-fingered hand for silence. The system is large, perhaps. Before they could continue, the ground trembled beneath them. A minor quake, but enough to send loose rocks tumbling down a nearby slope, directly toward one of the Valkyrie. Without hesitation, Dawson lunged forward, tackling the alien clear of the falling debris. Both rolled several meters before coming to a stop. The Valkyrie team instantly raised their weapons, but Kraz barked a command that made them freeze. Dawson slowly disentangled himself from the smaller Valkyrie scientist, hands raised in a universal gesture of peace. "Sorry," Dawson said. "Instinct." The Valkyrie scientist rose, dusting off his clothing. "You saved me, despite your inferior musculature." Dawson grinned. "Earth has plenty of falling rocks. You get used to dodging them." Maya watched as Kraz studied her team with new interest. "Your reflexes are impressive for a low-gravity species." "Earth may have lower gravity than your homeworld," Maya replied, but it has plenty of other ways to kill you. We adapted. For the first time, Kraz's mouth formed what might have been a smile, revealing serrated teeth. As did we. The assembly calls both our worlds deathworlds because most species would perish there within days. The tension in the air diminished noticeably. Maya seized the opportunity. Perhaps we have more in common than either of us realized. Would you join us in our shelter? We could discuss a potential cooperation rather than competition. As the sun set on the rust-colored world, humans and Valkyrie sat together in the Earth Expedition's temporary shelter. The initial wariness had given way to cautious conversation as both sides discovered surprising similarities despite their obvious differences. Your species survived multiple extinction-level events, Kraz asked incredulously. Maya nodded. Ice ages, supervolcanoes, meteor impacts. Earth has tried to kill us many times. Valkyrie Prime experienced similar challenges, Kraz rumbled. When the chlorine storms come, nothing survives on the surface. We learned to build underground, to predict the unpredictable. Lieutenant Patel had found common ground with the Valkyrie scientist, Nexer, comparing notes on mineral compositions. The xerium concentrations in the northern range are remarkable, Nexer was saying. Enough for both our needs, if extracted efficiently. We could combine our technologies, Patel suggested. Your excavation methods with our refinement processes. Maya watched the interaction with growing hope. Commander Kraz, I propose a joint operation. Shared resources, shared labor, shared rewards. Kraz considered this, all four eyes blinking in sequence. The assembly may not approve. They fear when Deathworld species cooperate too closely. Let them worry, Maya said with a smile. We've both survived worse than nervous politicians. Just as Kraz was about to respond, Patel's communicator beeped urgently. She checked the device, her expression shifting to concern. Captain, the Horizon is detecting an unusual energy signature at the edge of the system. It just appeared without warning. Kraz's communicator activated almost simultaneously, the Valkyrie equivalent relaying similar information. Thunderclaw reports the same. Kraz confirmed, rising to his feet. Unknown signature, massive energy output. Maya exchanged glances with her crew. Natural phenomenon. No, Kraz and Patel said simultaneously. The Valkyrie commander's voice lowered. The pattern is artificial, but matches nothing in our extensive database. A feeling of unease settled over the group as they all looked toward the darkening sky. Their ships were detecting something approaching, something neither humans nor Valkyrie had ever encountered before. Perhaps, Maya said slowly, we should continue this discussion aboard our vessels. As the two teams prepared to return to their respective shuttles, the newfound cooperation between the Deathworld species took on a greater urgency. Whatever was coming from the edge of the system, they would face it together, whether the Galactic Assembly approved or not.